All right, Dirty Birds faithful, let's cut through the noise, shall we? Let's peel back the layers of what was, frankly, a bewildering week for our beloved Atlanta Falcons. How much more can a fan base as loyal and passionate as ours endure before questioning the very commitment of their team's leadership to truly contend? Are we witnessing a masterclass in strategic inaction, or simply a team adrift without a compass, content to tread water while the rest of the league makes waves? The trade deadline has come and gone, a fleeting moment of opportunity that, for the Atlanta Falcons, felt less like a strategic pivot point and more like a collective shrug. While other franchises were wheeling and dealing, bolstering their rosters for a playoff push or shrewdly acquiring assets for the future, our Falcons stood pat. Or, perhaps more accurately, they made moves that left many of us scratching our heads, wondering if the front office truly grasps the urgency of the situation. This isn't just about missing out on a blockbuster. It's about a perceived apathy, a glaring lack of aggression that speaks volumes about the team's current trajectory. The silence from Flowery Branch on trade deadline day was deafening, a stark contrast to the flurry of activity across the NFL. While contenders sharpened their blades and rebuilding teams stockpiled draft capital, the Falcons opted for very little. The most notable transactions involved shedding players, not acquiring them. We saw the departure of Zayn Gonzalez, then Parker Romo, and most recently, the waiving of defensive lineman T. Quan Graham. Now, let's talk about Graham for a moment. To release a player, especially a defensive lineman, less than 24 hours after the trade deadline has passed, feels like a missed opportunity of epic proportions. Could we not have at least shopped him around for a conditional 7th-round pick? A pick swap? Something? In a league where every asset holds value, letting a player walk for nothing, particularly when the defensive line is hardly a bastion of impenetrable strength, is a decision that borders on perplexing. This inaction, this apparent reluctance to engage in the market, flies in the face of what many believed was a clear need for reinforcement. Fans, understandably frustrated, often point to a perceived lack of draft capital as an excuse. But let's be real, you don't always need to mortgage the future with first-round picks. Sometimes you leverage existing players. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. According to reports from ESPN, the Falcons did field calls regarding Arnold Ebiketie, a promising young edge rusher. Yet, they chose not to move him. Was the price not right? Or does General Manager Terry Fontenot genuinely believe that every single player on this 3-5 roster is contributing to a winning formula? It's a question that hangs heavy in the air, especially when you consider the stark reality of our current standing. This day-by-day approach, as it's been described, might be acceptable for a team in the throes of a full-blown, multi-year rebuild. A Jets, a Titans, or even a Cardinals team seemingly pivoting away from Kyler Murray. But the Falcons, with the talent currently on this roster, are not in that category. We have too many pieces, too much potential to simply drift through the season without making aggressive, future-oriented decisions. Compare this to a general manager like Howie Roseman of the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that just won the Super Bowl last year and has already made 8 trades since the beginning of the 2025 season. That's a front office actively, relentlessly pursuing improvement, always looking for an edge. The Falcons, by contrast, seem content with minor tweaks, like firing a wide receivers coach or releasing a rotational defensive lineman. These are not the actions of an organization serious about ascending to championship contention. Now, let's pivot from the frustrating inaction of the past week to the daunting challenge that lies immediately ahead. A trip to Germany to face the Indianapolis Colts. And what a challenge it promises to be. The Colts, currently sitting atop their division, have been anything but stagnant. They made a seismic move, acquiring none other than Sauce Gardner, arguably the best cornerback in the league. While the price tag, reportedly 2 first-round picks, might seem outlandish to some, it's a clear statement of intent from Indianapolis. And if Gardner clears concussion protocol as head coach Shane Steichen expects, he will be lining up directly across from our own superstar, Drake London, this Sunday. This matchup immediately highlights one of the Falcons' most glaring and unaddressed issues: the profound lack of a solidified, reliable number 2 wide receiver behind London. Drake London is a phenomenal talent, a true number 1 who, even against Christian Gonzalez last week, managed to haul in 3 touchdowns. But he can't do it all, and when he's shadowed by a lockdown corner like Sauce Gardner, the need for another legitimate threat becomes even more critical. Darnell Mooney, while a good player, is currently battling injuries and is more suited to a high-end number 3 role, not a consistent second option. The statistics paint a grim, almost unbelievable picture of our receiving core outside of London. Consider this: between Darnell Mooney, Casey Washington, David Sills, Ray McLeod, and C.J. Hodge, the other 5 wide receivers on the roster, they have combined for a paltry 30 catches, 385 yards, and 0 touchdowns. 0. In stark contrast, Drake London alone boasts 47 catches, 587 yards, and 5 touchdowns. This isn't rocket science, folks. It's a screaming siren indicating a desperate need for more receiving help. And yet, the trade deadline passed without a single move to address this gaping hole. Looking ahead, the situation for acquiring a top-tier receiver in free agency also appears complicated. With Kirk Cousins' substantial contract still on the books and a likely post-June 1st release to mitigate cap impact, the Falcons will have limited flexibility when free agency kicks off in March. This makes the trade deadline inactivity even more perplexing, even more like a missed opportunity that could haunt us for seasons to come. But the challenges don't stop there. While the Colts' acquisition of Sauce Gardner will test our passing game, their offensive juggernaut, led by the electrifying Jonathan Taylor, poses an equally terrifying threat. Taylor is having an MVP-caliber season, running with a ferocity and efficiency that few in the league can match. And what do we know about the Falcons' defense? While our pass rush has shown flashes of improvement, our run defense remains a significant vulnerability. It doesn't take a genius to predict Shane Steichen's game plan: Jonathan Taylor, and more Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 30-plus carries, simply because no one has been able to stop him, and our defensive line, as currently constructed, has struggled mightily against the run. Are we truly fooling ourselves if we believe this unit can contain a player of Taylor's caliber? Adding insult to injury, the Falcons are also grappling with offensive line injuries, potentially leaving a non-mobile Michael Penix Jr. without some of his starting protectors. This creates a truly non-winning scenario: a struggling offense, a one-dimensional receiving core, a vulnerable run defense, and an injured offensive line, all facing a top-seeded team that just added a superstar cornerback and boasts an MVP-level running back. Now, I want to be clear. I will be there, cheering on our Dirty Birds, wearing my gear, and rooting for this team with every fiber of my being. But my job isn't just to be passionate, it's to be honest. And the honest truth, the sentiment I will continue to echo until something fundamentally changes, is this: the Atlanta Falcons are not serious about getting better. They continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, expecting different results. And as the dictionary reminds us, that, my friends, is the very definition of insanity. This organization needs to take aggressive swings to plan for the future and to demonstrate a genuine commitment to building a sustainable winner, not just patching holes with temporary fixes. The road ahead is fraught with peril, and the path to contention seems obscured by a fog of inaction. Will the Falcons finally wake up and make the bold, decisive moves necessary to turn the ship around? Or are we destined to repeat the same frustrating patterns year after year? What's your take, Dirty Birds Nation? Are you as exasperated as I am by the Falcons' trade deadline inactivity, or do you see a method to madness? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. And if you appreciate this unfiltered analysis, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more passionate breakdowns of our Atlanta Falcons.